Hey everyone, how you doing? I wanted to do a quick video on an Instagram reel that I posted the other day, basically surrounding the concept of when you should change foils or when you should change gear, or whether you should just sort of focus on working with the gear that you've already got to progress. It's a tricky one to cover in a 10-second Instagram reel, but that's why I thought I'd make this video sort of to clear up a few things. Yeah, so let's dive in. I'll pull up the old Instagram post and we'll go from there. Alright, so yeah, this is my Instagram for those that haven't seen it. I have been just trying to share my knowledge, same as what I'm doing on YouTube over here. I've been finding that Instagram Reels have been a really good way to reach more people. At the end of the day, I'm just trying to share my knowledge, share my progressions, as I've got in my little bio here. One thing I have added to my Instagram recently, it's gonna be a little bit of a shameless plug, but you gotta do it. I've added this little link tree. It has all the normal links, so my YouTube channel, my tutorial playlist within my YouTube channel. Got a link to old OTB Marine, wrapping the shirt. Yeah, they have been supporting me for a very long time with back when I was sailing and now with all my wing foiling stuff. So if you're in Australia, you need some wing foiling gear, these guys are awesome. Go check out their website. The link is on my Instagram and I'll chuck it in the description below. I've also set up a buy me a coffee just because I wanted, not necessarily for people to actually go and buy me a coffee, but I wanted to add in anything that I've been designing because for those that don't know, I'm also an engineer. Yeah, I enjoy designing stuff in CAD and 3D printing stuff. So at the moment, there's only a couple of little things and they're just the 3D models so that you can download the files and go get them printed at a local place. Otherwise, yeah, I've also got a printer, so can potentially arrange to print them out and ship them off to you if you need. Yeah, I just haven't really figured out pricing or anything. So, but yeah, this is what this wing strut mount I'm actually really excited about. I know this is a real tangent to what the video was meant to be about, but just quickly. Yeah, I made this strut mount. Basically, you print it out flat and then you mold it. I just molded it around a drink bottle. You basically just put the part in boiling hot water. It softens up and then mold it around, and then as it cools down, it takes that shape. Yeah, just to show you what I'm actually talking about. That's the design, the print, the molding onto the water bottle, and that's the part. And then that's it on the strut. So you just push it into the strut, making sure that your wing doesn't have any Velcro in the way of where you're going to be putting it there, and that you're not touching the bladder of your wing either. Let's get back on track. This is the video I was talking about, and basically classic Instagram hook. This is why you should change foils. Read the caption. Basically, to summarize this long-winded piece of text, there's sort of two camps when it comes to swapping out your gear and when you should do it and progressions. I know if you're a kite shop, you're probably going to go ahead and say, oh no, like obviously just get as much gear as you can because it'll help you in all the conditions. It's definitely a good way to sell more gear. Me personally, I've experienced staying on gear too long, and I've also had mates that have stayed on gear too long and then they change to a higher aspect foil or a slightly different foil, and suddenly they've unlocked tacking, or their jibes are a lot easier. The thing I wanted to really highlight here is if you're someone that you feel really comfortable on your foil, you've put in at least sort of a month, 2 months on the foil, and you're attempting to learn tacking maybe, or you're attempting to learn a carving 360 or something like that, and it's just not sticking. You've been trying and trying and trying. There's an argument for maybe it's time to try something that's a little bit higher performance. And I think for me, the issue that I ran into was limited by glide, basically. The two examples I can think of was back when I was riding Axis gear, I had the Axis 910. And really forgiving, like super low stall speed, high aspect for the time, which is kind of funny to think back where we were calling those high aspect foils back then. It had a really flat profile, and I was also riding a 75 centimeter mast, so I was finding when I was tacking, it would breach, or I'd push it too hard and it would breach. And for me, it didn't feel like it was super forgiving when the tip came out. So basically it was like start the tack, breach, tack was over because you'd crashed. I then jumped over to some F1 gear, and I was on the Phantom 1280, I think. So that was comparable sizes, but the Phantom was just a lot surfier. It had this sort of anhedral shape. The design was just a little bit surfier in general. I think I also stepped up to the 85 centimeter mast back when I was still riding aluminium masts, and that really just helped me dial in my tacks. Like I was tacking on the 910, but this was just like chalk and cheese. I could just really bank it around and get through tacks a lot easier. So I think moral of the story with that one was it wasn't necessarily surface area that I needed to change. This was just going from something around 1200 to 1400 square centimeters that had a flat profile to something with a bit of anhedral that was designed to be a bit surfier. And it really helped me get through my tacks. The other example I wanted to chat about was when I stepped from the F1 Phantom series to the F1 Eagle. So this was another pretty wild step, I guess. So I'd ridden the Phantom 1280, the 1080, I worked my way down to I think that 840 might have been one of the smaller ones they have. And yeah, I was fortunate enough to get a crack on the Eagle 790 when it first landed in the country. And the thing was a weapon compared to anything else that I'd ridden. A bit smaller, but part of the point I'm trying to make is don't be intimidated by smaller foils. Know that you might have to carry a slightly bigger wing than you're expecting, and you just need to pump a little bit more. Essentially, I remember with the bigger foils, there was basically you'd do 3-4 pumps. As soon as you felt the foil engage, that was when you sort of give up pumping and just let the wing do its thing. The difference between the big foils and small foils is you just don't give up when the wing's engaged at the first instance. You keep pumping until you've got your speed up. So at first it's gonna like blow your lungs up, and you're gonna be like, nah, this small foil is way too much hard work. But you adapt really quickly to the amount of work that you need to do to get it going. Because I don't know, you think about it, like, reality is you're going from pumping for 5 seconds to pumping for 10 to 15 seconds. It's in the grand scheme of things, it's really not that big of a change. But when you're first doing it, I guess it's a 50, 100%, you're doubling or tripling the amount of time you were originally pumping for. So it feels like a big change to start. But yeah, going from that Phantom surf style foil to the Eagle, which is high aspect, still good carve because it's got a slight anhedral, and I think they taper the cord towards the tips as well. It still feels pretty surfy for a high aspect wing because of the aspect ratio relative to the Phantom. It was so glidey. Like I just felt like I had time on time with respect to the Phantom. Like it really helped me start to play with carving 360s, different jibe variations, switching feet on the wave with my wing flagged out, riding waves in general. It was definitely a decent step. I think the main point I'm trying to make is there's a line between changing gear for the sake of it and changing gear to help you progress. And I think the line is somewhere around the 2 to 3 month mark, because if you've had enough sessions in that time, you'll know what the foil's capable of. You've sort of hit the peak of the bell curve, and you're starting to come back down the other side of, I guess, diminishing returns on your time invested in riding that foil. If you're currently working on something and it's just not sticking and you've been at it, I'd definitely consider trying something different. The best thing to do is just have conversations with mates, have a conversation with the kite shop, really try to define what you're wanting to get out of your foil and match that with the foil design. I guess in my little post that I made, my few examples were similar to what I've been speaking about. If you feel like you're running out of time through your turns, potentially higher aspect at the same surface area would make sense, because it would give you a similar low end, similar-ish, similar amount of work, but it'll give you more glide through the turn, which I guess results in more time. For example, do you struggle to get your foil to push through sharper turns? That example of the 910, the Axis 910 that I was riding, stepping onto the Phantom 1280. So same surface area, but anhedral to really help with the roll, you know, making it a bit more unstable on the roll. It's not really unstable, it's just more maneuverable on the rolling axis. What else we got? Do you feel like the foil is shooting out from under you as you accelerate through the turn? So this could be a couple things, but something with lower area is probably where you're at. When you turn, anytime you turn your foil, you're accelerating it. Anytime you accelerate the foil, you're adding more lift, which means that you need to meet that extra lift with more foot pressure through your board. So yeah, if you reduce the area of the foil, it just means that for the same amount of acceleration, you're getting less lift added to the foil, which means you don't need to meet it with as much foot pressure. I also said that you could, instead of changing foils in that situation, you could think about moving your mast a little bit back just to change the pressure distribution through your feet. Cool, I think that's pretty much it for that one. Yeah, I just wanted to go into a little bit more of the nuance and also give some examples of how that's influenced me as well. So before we finish up, I just wanted to dig through the comments as well. So we had Tom on foil saying, definitely faster foils, everything's easier. Absolutely, agree for me. I've found going to smaller, faster foils, it's just given me more time, which sounds a bit counterintuitive, but the smaller foils, you open up your top end speed and you give away a little bit of your low end. But for me, I feel like that the top end speed that you gain is greater than the low end speed that you lose. I can start a maneuver at 27 knots top speed, and I've got all the way down to maybe like 12 knots. So that nice big range. Whereas in the past, the older foils that I rode capped out at sort of 21, 22 knots, and you're still going down to that sort of 10 knot range. So yeah, faster foil's easier for some people, absolutely. Nicholas saying, got a new board with 50 liters, improved so much in 2 days. And I can see this as well, 100%. You know, less swing weight, more maneuverable, changes the feel of your foil, even with the same foil. It also depends on your discipline too, because like a 50, you know, stepping down from a 80 litre board to a 50 litre board and you're doing freestyle, that's game changer completely. Like, you know, if you're trying to do, I don't know, like hand pass 360s and different things like that, freestyle wise, smaller literage board's going to make a big difference. Sebastian, I've definitely struggled with the same thinking. You got to earn that new foil, and that's the point that I really wanted to make clear. It's like, know what earning, don't enforce that for more than 3, 4, 5 months because you're just putting off your progression. Here we go, another one. It's a thing. Rode out of my first tack last week thanks to a foil with more glide. That's the moment I'm trying to get you guys to. Like, if you're pushing to learn your tacks and you think it's you, it might be if it's only been 3, 4, 10 sessions of trying to learn the tack. But if it's been a really long time and you're still going, there's some Einstein quote, insanity's doing the same thing over and over again and expecting the same results. That's essentially what you're doing. If nothing's changing, you're not learning new little nuances to the turn or anything like that. You're just trying to tack, crash, trying to tack, crash, try something new. What else we got? Wind addict, depends on the conditions. Everyone talks about high aspect, but when you have a lot of chop, that may not be ideal. The waves will slow you down when tacking, and then the high stall speed becomes a problem. High aspect also means a lot of wingspan. Chop pushes your big wingspan around a lot, not always easy to control. That's definitely a thing as well. Like, everyone uses high aspect as a bit of a buzzword, and I think the general trend is like the higher aspect you go, the better the foil is, sort of thing. And if you can't handle that high aspect ratio foil, then it's on you, sort of thing. But it's a great point. Everyone that's wing foiling is essentially trying to tune the equipment that they have to the conditions that they ride the most. So it makes sense that some people aren't going to like the higher aspect foils and will benefit from something lower aspect. Cool, so that was all the comments on that one. I guess to summarize, just make sure that you don't fall for that fallacy of thinking you need to earn your new foil by, you know, finally landing that maneuver that you've been trying over that new foil might be the reason that you actually get that maneuver. Don't go insane doing the same thing over and over again. Yeah, that's about it for me for this one. Make sure to head over to my channel to check out the rest of my wing foiling quick tips and the tutorials and stuff I've been posting. Should be plenty more coming up soon, so make sure you subscribe to see the new videos when they come out. Easy. Thanks for watching.